Hello, everyone. It's Jeff here, and today I want to talk to you about the fact that, well, I don't want any more dictators. I'm done with having dictators. And you say, well, great, Jeff. Well, then move to a free country, Western country. I live in Canada, born and raised. And I say this, no more dictators, because our prime ministers have grown into and become dictators. They've concentrated power around themselves, even when they're not in power. They're dictators. Trudeau, since he's in power, he has crammed through all sorts of really bad, horrible bills. Censorship on an unprecedented scale in this country, all under the guise of hate speech. Well, who gets to define that? Him and his hand-picked cabal, and they can't be questioned. So whatever they label as hate speech is hate speech, and you get sent away for life. We've seen in the UK where people are getting sent away and locked up for tweets that they've said, anything which is against the narrative. Whatever happened to freedom of expression? Well, you do have the freedom of expression, Jeff. You have the freedom to express yourself in a manner in which is sanctioned by the state. What? Polyev, I thought for the longest time that he was going to be, I hoped that he was going to be the big herald of change, but no. As you see now, he's acting like any party leader would, and as any prime minister would, as having complete and total absolute control over their caucus, because, as I told you before, if they want to run under the banner of, in Poilievre's case, a conservative, then you have to get him to sign your papers. And so to do that, you have to do what he says, literally jump through literal flaming hoops, if he says so, to get that brand recognition. And so they do whatever he says. And so he has his own ideology. Now, of the two of them, I'll take Poilievre. But again, he's going to cram through his own political agenda, his own political ideology. And granted, I think I would more support his than Trudeau's. But the problem is, it's not that fact, because it's the fact that when Poilievre's in power, those who are liberals and those who are NDPs, those who are not conservatives, or not even, don't agree with his ideology, is just ignored, because he doesn't need his party. He doesn't need anyone. He is in power. Just like Trudeau now doesn't need anyone. His party wants him gone. His caucus wants him gone. They've told him, dude, get out. He said, no. And there's nothing they can do to remove him. The only check on power we have is the Governor General or the King, and neither are going to do anything. They both like their cushy little lives. Short of that, it's a coup, and that's not a check on power. That is a failure of a check on power. That's not acceptable. But then neither is languishing under dictatorship, and that's what we have here, because nothing can be done. And Poilievre, I reached out to him about this project. Over the previous few years, before going public here on Twitter, I thought he would be a change. I briefly met him once, and I say this, it was in a line of, I happened to be in a line of people at an event that he was at, and he happened to be standing there doing a bit of glad handing, and I told him my name, and I said I'd still like a meeting, because I wanted to have a meeting to say, this is how we can fix things. Are you on board? And he just said, right. I think it was more like, yes. And that was it. I understood then that he wanted nothing to do with me, and that's fine. I respect that. He is a person, and he has a right to say who he will and will not have anything to do with. And so though he didn't technically say stay away or didn't want anything, so I took that to mean that, and I haven't communicated with him or the Conservatives since, and he hasn't with me, other than a few, hi, you want to give us money kind of things. I'm currently not a member of any party. I've been a member of the NDP. I've been a member of in Alberta, and federally, I've also been a member of the Conservatives. Federally, as I've said before, I voted Liberal, NDP, Conservative, PC, Reform at various stages throughout my voting career. I mean, I'm 54, and I started voting when I was 18, when I was allowed to. So each election, I always go, which party do I support? And vote accordingly, not ideologically. My biggest problem with all of this is the fact that there are no checks and balances on power. Once the guy's in, that's it. They do whatever they want, and there's nothing that can be done about it. It's the system that needs to be changed, because the system has been morphed into an elected dictatorship. And we're seeing that as how our leaders are behaving now. You probably look closely at Jagmeet and the NDP, he's probably doing the same thing, making sure that his people do what he wants, does what he wants, says what he wants, and so forth. And probably, the Bloc are the same way, because that is the system. And so then you end up with having four voices. Liberal, conservative, NDP in the Bloc, and the Greens, and trying to get their voice in edgewise, and the others as well. But you end up with only the party leaders having their say, getting their way. And only one party leader actually gets their way, and that's the Prime Minister, the leader of the governing party. Everybody else plays the second fiddle. Jagmeet kind of sort of gets his way, because he kind of blackmails or whatever, kind of get some watered down version of what he wants. So again, it's the fact that no bills can be questioned, nothing can be changed. It's just simply whatever the heck the Prime Minister wants, they get. And the next guy, he's not going to be the herald of change. He'll change some policies and do some economic things and so forth, but he's not going to change the system. He's going to work the system, because he's just about to win his career. Woohoo! Yay! I finally get to be the dictator of Canada. Isn't this wonderful? And he can do whatever he wants, and then he gets a big fat pension, and then he can ride off into the sunset because he's won. Isn't that wonderful? And he put in a few policies here and there, and did a few things, but everything he's done, everything he's about to do, can be undone when the Liberals or the next group takes power. They can quickly undo everything. So nothing really changes, because it's all about their party, their guys, their groups, their turn to the trough, to pig out at the public purse. It's not about making Canada better. They put some ideological stuff in place, but no bills can be checked. Nothing can be questioned. And so only one person's ideas get done. And that is a dictatorship. And then you have bad, horrible government, as we do now. And we will continue to have until we change the system. This is why I need a meeting with all of the premiers to start the process to change this. And I'm losing faith in them, because I think they also believe, hey, why would we change anything? We've won our careers in our province. Why would we change anything? We have power. We have total power. So they need to prove me wrong by reaching out to me. I don't think they will. But I'm still going to try, because I love my country. I love capitalism, and I love democracy. I'm trying to give the power to the people, and I'm trying my best. But so far, no good.